Welcome to the 7th episode of Meet the GIMP. My name is Rolf Steinort and I'm recording this in Bremen, northern Germany. As you see in this graph, Meet the GIMP has nearly exploded in the last week. I had 20 to 30 subscribers up to then, and now I have 364. About 100 people had downloaded show number 2, the then most popular show, and now it's 575 for that show and 1059 for the last one. I think most people come via iTunes to Meet the GIMP, and Ruth, thank you for managing that with the iTunes stuff. I have here a Linux machine and I can't use iTunes with that. Other people come via search engines to Meet the GIMP, and I can see what you are searching for. And my favorite up to now is getting rid of people on GIMP. I can imagine some ways to get rid of people, but most would be dangerous and can get you into the eye of the law enforcement agencies. There is one method with the GIMP, and I'll show that in a later show. The next show will be a question and answers show. I have got already a lot of questions and I'll try to answer them. And if you have a question, just write to info@meetthegimp.org. And now let's start with today's show. It's about curves. Let me just activate the tool here. You see, there is a histogram in the curves tool, and here 2 bars with a grayscale. Then there are some buttons around it, and preview, save, and so on. But let's concentrate first on this part of the curve tool. These here are is the tonal range of the source image, this image here. And we have some pixels that are really dark, we have pixels which are really bright, and we have a lot in between. This bar here consists out of 256 different tones. This is here 0, black. This is 255, white. And here we have, for example, 184, which is a gray. The image consists out of colors, and I can show you here the different colors. These are the red tones in the image, these are the green tones, and this the blue tones. And it's not very surprising in this image that green is the dominant channel here, which has a lot of values in it. Go back to here. The length of the bar above each tone is the count of the pixels which have this luminosity. And you have here an area from here to here. There are almost the same number of pixels with this tonality as with this here. And here we have the most, they have this color here. You can poke around in the image with, when you go out here, you see it gets to a little dropper. And just click here and the line will follow. You can draw this along here and look which tone is where in the image. Now we have covered this bar here. This is the output, and here are also 256 different values, and they form the image. This is the data that is put into this curve, and this is the data that is put out. And this here, this line between this line which crosses the graph here, is the translation function. And when I go here from mid-gray up to the translation curve here, and then left, I hit again mid-gray. But I can pull this curve along. Let me just pull it down. You see here the image gets darker. And when I now go up from mid-gray to the curve and then left, I land at dark gray. You see it here. The lower bar here is the original, the input, and this is the output of the curve tool. And I can change this curve in a lot of different ways. There are nearly no limits. One limit is I can't pull the curve backwards. The moment I do that, the point here is lost. But I can say I don't want to see any bright pixels, and I don't want to see them here. No, it's nearly black. Just pull it up here, or do really white stuff here. White is the new black, and black is the new white. You can play around it until you get images that have been in fashion 40 years ago. Okay, let us reset that to the original. There are some more buttons around it. Here is a switch, a toggle between linear mode and logarithmic mode. In logarithmic mode, you get the smaller values pushed up. Here in linear, this is the double value from this here. In logarithmic, this may be 1, this 10, this 100, and this 1000. Each step gives you the tenth, no, not the tenth, but 10 times more. And with this you see the details. When there are only some pixels, you can see them, and in linear mode they are hidden. You see it here. You can't say if there are pixels which have 250 and up, but when I clicked in logarithmic, you see we have pixels over the full range of the image. Then here I have the curve type. I used up to now the tool here with where the curve gets a curve, a smooth curve, and I can get a method where I can actually paint the curve and get some really funny stuff. I've never used that in earnest. Then there is a save dialog and an open dialog button. When you've finished with a curve, you can save it for later use and recall it later. I know a guy who shoots weddings a lot, and he has a special bright shot curve which is fine-tuned in the whites to give structure to I think the white dress. How do I use the curve tool in this image here? I want to get the dark parts of the image a bit darker. I want to keep the midtones, and I want to have the bright part a bit brighter. And for that, that's a thing that you'll want to do with a lot of images. For that I use the S-curve. I just pull here in the lower part a bit down, and you see the dark parts get darker. And I go into the bright part and push it up. I think this was too much. Okay. Bit less. and this also a bit less. When I click on OK, the values are stored. And when I repeat this process here, you see the histogram has changed. There are no values here with no pixels. Let me click on logarithmic, you see it here. No pixels with these values. This happens each time when you use the curve tools. You lose information. And so don't try to undo a curve operation by doing the opposite, just pulling up here and pulling down here. That should be about the opposite effect. Click OK, and now look, you see it gets worse and worse and worse, and you end in a terrible image with color bending. So use the curve tool or the levels tool, which is basically the same tool with a different user interface. Use it with care and only to make one change, and otherwise you'll lose information and end with an image which tends to have color bendings in it. I think this was it for this week, and I hope to see you around next Thursday for the 8th edition, and I hope to get some comments from you again. I'll answer them in the blog. If I haven't answered in this and the last one to comments you wrote in the last 2 weeks, I pre-recorded these 2 editions because I'm attending a 2 weeks workshop to improve my photography, and I'll tell you next week about how it went and if I can show you some images to work with here. I hope to see you around next week. Bye bye.